I don't know, probably about an hour and a half. And then we went back to my house for a little bit, hung out at my house for a little while, and then he had to leave, and then he left.
Do you recall what time he left?
I was out of my head. No. I remember he was like going to be late to be back at 10. I think there's a text message where he starts texting me when he's home at his house.
Okay.
So you can probably figure that out. And I remember I texted him back and I was like, damn, that was quick. Or wow, that was really quick. He's like, yeah, I even had time to stop at the ATM or stop at the gas station, stop somewhere to get money to pay the babysitter.
Okay.
And I was just like thinking like, well, that was really fast. But I think he was still like a little late coming back, but nothing too drastic. So he probably left my house like somewhere around 9:30ish.
All right. And you go straight home. He texts you.
Well, I was already home.
Right. No, he texts you. He goes straight home from your house, and he texts you that he's home. Mm-hmm. So that should be in your text message.
It should be. I'm pretty positive that was not a phone call. I'm almost positive that was a text. Sometimes I get them flip-flopped, or I don't remember, but
That's
sometimes
okay.
I know. I'm pretty sure that one was a text.
Saturday, during your dinner, what kind of conversation did you guys have?
I don't even remember. So he's been trying to like eat a little healthier than he normally does, and he's always like been in the working out since I knew him, and he like tries to eat clean, but he was trying to like step it up a little bit, and nothing like the people who do like the competitions and the shows that are all super restrictive. I mean, it's nothing like that. It's just like day-to-day general maintenance, but it's how I eat, and it's pretty healthy. And he's been losing a lot of weight. He lost, I want to say like 13 pounds in the time that we were hanging out. And honestly, when you start eating a little bit cleaner and you start working out a little bit harder, the first couple months, especially for a man, because they lose weight faster, it's not something that's like that drastic to me, but it did stand out that it was like a little much. And so I was like, whoa, like maybe you're not eating enough macronutrients, so let me look at them. So he had been working on his MyFitnessPal app and like programming like all the stuff he eats, and I just started going through them, and I was like trying to figure out like where his ratios were. And we actually spent a lot of time doing that because he'd asked me to do it for him, because I just was at the point where I was like, if his weight loss slows down in a few weeks, he'll be fine, and if it doesn't, then his macros are a little off. It's not like that big of a deal like in the workout community. This is like a very normal thing. But
Did you have any other outside concerns, like potential drug use, alcohol use, any of that stuff that led you to go, oh, he's lost an extreme amount of weight in such a short period of time?
No, and I wouldn't call it extreme. It was just like, it was a lot. But I mean, when I first started working out, I dropped like 12 pounds in 2 weeks when I first started like hitting it hard with the diet. So the fact that he lost like that much weight, it wasn't, like I said, it was not a surprising amount. I just didn't want it to be like a sustained amount. But no, I didn't think anything weird of it, just because of like how interknitted I am with the like workout community, and I know like this is possible. But it just, the thing that concerned me about it, I guess, and it wasn't even concern, but the thing that like kind of red lighted me like, hey, this might be carrying on, is the fact that his macros were like pretty dialed in. Like I had wrote them and he like didn't stay exactly on them, but his calorie intake was about where it needed to be, my experience anyways, for like what he was trying to achieve. And so I don't know, he didn't seem to have a problem with it. He liked where he was at with all of that.
So that was your main conversation Saturday?
That was like a big chunk while we were there, is like us actually going through, because I was like going through each item like, why are your ratios off?
Do you know where his kids or wife were that night?
On Saturday?
Yeah, his kid. Well, you know his kids are with the babysitter. Do you know where his wife is?
She's in Arizona.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because he told me.
Okay. Do you know what she's doing there?
I think she's on a business trip. He didn't even tell me right away. He actually told me, I think, like on Saturday or something. It might have been like Friday or something. I honestly don't remember. I just remember I was like really surprised where he's like, hey, like, I'm going to try to get a babysitter if you want to hang out or something like that. And I was like, why do you need a babysitter? Like, your wife's home. He's like, no, she's out of town. I was like, oh.
Okay. Is there much conversation regarding that her on being on a trip or the children on during those conversations?
Not really. I just asked him what time she was coming home on Sunday, and he just said really late.
Okay.
And that was it. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about with that.
Okay. So your conversation's mainly health related. You guys return to your house, and then he goes home, and then you talk to him for a few hours on Sunday.
Did I? Are you asking me, or are you telling me?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I was like, I don't even know. Someday, honestly, so, wait a minute. That was Saturday. We're talking about Saturday. We're not talking about Sunday right now.
Okay, so you're still on Saturday.
Yes.
You guys have a phone conversation when he gets home?
That was the day that he got the babysitter and I went out to dinner, not Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure
That's
you
okay.
got your
Yep.
days right. So Saturday, yes, we went out. He had the babysitter. He went home. I'm sure we did. We always talk on the phone. And honestly, I mean, Mark asked me that the other day. He's like, how long are you on the phone? 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Like, you're going to have to look at the records, to be honest with you. Like, so much.
You like to talk. I can tell a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
400, when she was young, she'd crank out about 400 words a minute, gusts up to 600. That little thing can yak, man.
You're a talker, so I'm letting you talk.
I need to use the restroom.
Let me show you where it's at.
Can you
So-
give me some water while you're out there with
Sure.
me, please? Thank you.
Another bottle?
Let's
Yeah, at least one.
let's move to
Sunday.
Sunday. Well, let me reverse something. Your conversation with the children, or about the children, was there ever talk about medical concerns with either of the children?
Well, I know Cece is allergic to not peanuts, like pine nuts. Pine nuts.
So she has a nut allergy.
Yes.
Did they take meds?
Yeah, I know that she had like an EpiPen, but as far as I know, she didn't have any meds, but I never asked. Like, I was just told, like, she has a pretty severe allergy. And
Enough to carry an EpiPen, that's pretty severe.
yeah, while we're on this, so when he was in North Carolina, this is all like hearsay now because it's like, this is not a conversation. Like, he's telling me this stuff, but who knows exactly what happened. But he went out there to go see his family and her family. And while he was in town, before he went out to North Carolina, I guess his mother had accidentally, like, not exposed her to something with nuts, but had, like, given a product, I think it was like ice cream, to a different kid that could have traces of nuts or something. I don't know. But it was like, his daughter was fine, but she was, like, in the range of contamination. And I think his wife was very upset about that. And when he got to North Carolina, he told me that he was supposed to spend like half time with them, half the time with her family, and that was supposed to be what it was. I don't know. But he said that he went to go see his family and they weren't answering the phone for like a day or two before he went out there. And then when he got there, there was a note on the door that said, son, if you step by, we're at the beach. And they ignored him for like most of the time that he was out there. And
His own family?
yes, his mom, his dad, and
What do
his
you-
sister.
What's the significance? Do you know why?
Yeah, he said, and again, I don't know what is true with this man anymore and what's not, but he told me that, like, leading up to it, I was like, well, why are your folks, like, ignoring you? And I was, like, really concerned about this. Like, every single day he would talk to me when he was out there, and I was like, you talked to your family today? You talked to your family today? Did you talk to your dad? What happened? Did you talk to him? No, I didn't. Or, yeah, I talked to my mom. Well, what'd she say? Are you going to hang out with them? Like, I wanted him to see his people because it's important. Family is an important thing. You know, it just needs to function properly. And,
Sure.
and so I was like, well, and he was like, well, they're ignoring me. And I was like, what do you think happened? And he's like, I'm not really sure, but I think something was said between my wife and them during that incident. And he's like, because
The
every time
peanut
yes,
or
that happened
nuts.
before he got there, yes. And he's like, because every time that I try to I talk about possibly going over there to see if they're home, she gets upset about it. And I was like, okay. And he told me that his mom and his wife did not get along at all. He said that his mom didn't even show up to his wedding because she's like really did not care for Shannan.
Okay.
So again, I don't know what's true and what's not, but I just know that there was like some tension there.
Mhm.
And again, like that part is like, I feel like it's almost third party, so that's why it's
Sure.
like I didn't even
Well, but
bring
it
up
came from him
later.
to you, so it's not. it is something that whether it's important or not, we can validate that. I'm sure we will be having some conversations with family. What does it mean? I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know either, but I just know.
So maybe she, I don't know.
Well, and then he ended up seeing them on the last full day that he was there, and they told him supposedly that she had gotten really upset and had screamed and yelled in front of Chris's sister's kids that are very young, and to his mom and to his dad, and said you're never going to see Chris again, you're never going to see me, you're never going to see the babies, and just threatened them, and then walked off. And I guess that was the incident that happened prior to him coming out there, and then she didn't tell him about it. Mm-hmm. She just let it go, and then he just spent all week trying to figure out why his family was not trying to be involved.
Gotcha.
So again, I'm not sure. That was it just feels really third party, so it's hard for me to talk about because
sure.
I don't know how
That's
much validation.
So beyond the nut allergy for CC, did you know of any other? Did she take meds that you know of other than carrying an EpiPen?
His kids or his wife?
No, his children.
No.
And now, well, if you know anything about his wife's medical conditions, if she had any.
No, I've read in the newspaper they keep saying, oh, she had medical conditions, and I'm is that a misprint? Are they talking about CC, or is that just something else I don't know?
So you don't know anything about
nope.
Shannan having any kind of medical problems?
No.
Okay. Covered Saturday. So there's a phone call Saturday night, actually, from, it can't be Saturday, it had to be Sunday. I wrote that down quickly. Sunday night. Is there anything else you think? Let me just back up from the Saturday where you guys had a meal at the Lazy Dog to prior for the 6 weeks that you guys were serious. And although your dad's here and I think you're probably pretty comfortable, your relationship with Chris was, can you describe your relationship?
I mean, when he was with me, I considered it to be fairly healthy. It was open communication. And it was what I thought was honest, and it was very calm. It was respectful. We got along really well. He gave me my space when I needed it. I gave him his. And anytime, he wanted to take care of it, anytime that his kids could be in, his life for hours or days or whatever, whenever they were home, I made sure that I wasn't a presence in his life, so that he could be the best dad that he needed to be. And I mean, I thought what we had, it was very comfortable for me. I enjoyed it. I think he did very much as well. You
guys, 6 to 8 weeks, 2 months, whatever it was, you guys have an intimate relationship during that time?
Yes.
Okay. So you're pretty serious. Did he ever tell you that he loved you?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever tell him the same?
A couple times.
Okay. Notwithstanding that today, because those thoughts may have changed for you, but on, let's go Sunday into Monday or Monday, did you still love him on those days?
I think it was something where it was I said it a few times and I meant it, but he definitely felt the urge to say it to me a lot more than I did to him, because it was just all very new to me, and it was take your time with this. You don't need to rush that, I remember when he was in North Carolina and he was trying to patch things up with his wife, and he told me he loved me, and I was don't say that to me. Please go try to fit. And I mean, and that might even be in the text too, where it's don't say those words to me and then go try to make peace with your wife and lay in bed with another woman. Just don't do that. And I was it's not that I don't appreciate what you're saying to me. It's it just didn't sit right for me, So I just feel
almost like an insecurity where you had to say that to you? Or?
I don't know. I think he looking back at all this now, I don't think he was trying to fix things with her. So saying I love you to me seemed probably something that he genuinely meant. I love this woman, and regardless of where he was going to end up that night. But to me, in the way that I was perceiving things, he had told me that he was trying to fix things with her. So it's just this is an inappropriate time, and I wasn't mad at him. And I'm pretty sure that's in the text too, where it was very calm, but it's just it's almost disrespectful, where it's please don't. I'm if we get to that point where it is you and me, yes, you can say that, but not then. Like, that's...
So you thought he was very genuine when he said that?
Yeah, I did. I mean, and he wrote it. It's in all those cards I gave you. Not in all of them, but
Okay.
like the later ones.
And
Thank you.
when you said it to him, you said you meant it when you said it.
Yes, I just didn't say it as frequently as he said it. Like, sometimes he would say it, and I was just like, for me, it was still like very, very new, so I kind of like took my time and only said it when I was just like, this is a really important moment.
So you got, I mean, in the short period of time that you guys were together, he
Yes.
became very attached to you.
Yes. Very,
I
very
mean, he's
attached.
sending cards.
Flowers.
He's telling you he loves you. He sends you flowers. Does he buy you any other gifts?
Nope. I wouldn't have wanted them anyways. Flowers is enough. You can't. I don't need expensive stuff.
Okay. But he becomes very attached to you.
Yes.
You guys are talking multiple times a day, at least. You're
All the time.
You're seeing each other on a regular basis.
Yep.
So it's a very and his wife is not around, nor are his children. So there's a lot of time for you guys to build your relationship in this first four weeks or so. Is that fair?
Yeah, and even when she was back, I mean, it was still like we were still spending time together. He was still spending time with his children, and I had my own life. Like, I mean, there was one week where I just like went out of town with my friends for my birthday. I wasn't even around the whole like last few days of June up until the 3rd of July. I was like gone, you know. And then there was another like last weekend I had a friend impromptu come in town from out of state, and I hosted her for a few days. And it's like I still did my own thing all the time. Like, whether he was there or not, like, if my friends were like, hey, we want to make plans, I would tell him, like, we're not hanging out today because I want to go see my mom or my dad.
Did your friends know about him?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's like he's with 2 women right now. They don't
Okay.
need to know about
So
that.
if you had a boyfriend of 4 to 8 weeks on a regular, I don't know if you were married prior or if you had a boyfriend before, but if you had a steady boyfriend, you would have let people know. I think you told me before we got started that you just told your dad about Chris
No, I wouldn't
recently.
have told them. I wouldn't have told
Okay.
people. It's too early. I mean, people...
So you don't tell your friends, hey, I
No,
got a
because
boyfriend.
people come and go. I mean,
Okay.
the dating scene these days is like, it sucks. I mean, so, no, I wouldn't. I mean, it would have to be something, even with Sean. I think I was with Sean for probably like 6 or 7 months before I brought him home to my family. I mean, I really, the same with, that was the guy I was in a previous relationship with, but I
But
mean,
this one you were a little bit more, you said he's with 2 women. Was that one of your considerations for not telling anybody about him?
Yes, well, I mean, it was like, okay, like this, to me, it wasn't going to be an extended thing. Like, if it got to the point where we were, like, dating for, like, 3 or 4 months and he's still talking about, oh, I'm going to move out and I'm going to sell the house, I think at that point I probably would have just been like, I don't think you're really, like, doing these things you say you're going to do. And I probably would have just, like, left because at that point, it's not fair. It wasn't fair to me in the first place. It wasn't fair to her in the first place. It wasn't fair to any of us in the first place. You know, it wasn't fair to his family for him to have an affair. It wasn't fair to me to have him lie to me and make me think that everything is going to plan. And still to this day, I don't even know what's a lie and what's not. I don't even know if they were, like, filing for divorce. I don't know if they were putting the house up. I don't even know anymore what is real and what is not. But what I do know is it's just like, you know, that wasn't fair to me either, because if I'd have known not even all the truth, but like obviously some of it, I wouldn't have even engaged in any of this in the first place. And it just, I mean, and that's the part for me, just like on my personal level, outside of everything that is happening, that is gonna affect me long term. It's like, you know, I'm gonna wake up every day and know that, like, this mom and her unborn child and these 2 little girls are not around anymore, and it breaks my heart. It is so, oh my God. And then I have to think about, like, the consequences of his actions and how they affect everybody else. Like, all of these, her family's impacted. My name is about to be, like, slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long it's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised. if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years. And that really hurts me. And I'm just like, this is a horrible, horrible thing. Like, how dare you, you know? And people aren't going to understand that. You know, they're going to say, oh, you know, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back, and it's just like, I didn't know. Like, he's so disgusting. I'm so ashamed of him and everything, and I just, oh, those little girls, they're so little. They're so little.
We talked a little bit earlier about getting some help for these things, and we can provide that.
Okay.
At really no cost. Through the state.
One more. We just want to make sure there's resolution.
Absolutely.
That's why we come to you guys to pound it down
hey,
until there's
I'm
nothing left.
sorry that you're talking again today. I really am. I don't want to put you through any more trauma than you've already been through. There is reasons for everything that we're doing today and what occurred. And I'm sorry. I genuinely am sorry. These are not things that we like to do twice. It's the same thing with other types of victims from other crimes. We want to do it once and we want to be done. Unfortunately, we didn't know yesterday what we know today, and that's why we're here, because we need this video. And I am sorry, because I know it's hard to talk about it.
But it's so sad, and she's pregnant.
And you know, on our end, we didn't.
And they're so cute. They're so little. Like, wow. Why? How? I don't even understand how you could, like, bring yourself to do that to somebody who's, like, that big.
Take a minute. Do you want to step out for a minute?
No, I just need to chill with my eyes closed for a sec. I still cannot believe this is happening. Alright, let's keep going, because we're just getting to the meat of this whole situation.
Let's get to the phone call on Saturday from 9 to 11. What did you guys, or pardon me, on Sunday from 9 to 11?
Yeah, we talked a few times. So, Sunday, I think so. I need to think. I can't even think.
Take a couple breaths and take a second.
Sunday night. I don't even know. I don't think I was, like, concerned about anything at that point.
You guys had a meal, a nice meal the night before. You knew his wife was probably coming home late that evening.
Oh, you know what? I still don't remember what we talked about. Honestly, we talk about so much random stuff. Like, it's so hard to pinpoint some of these things. I don't remember what we talked about. I do remember that was a long phone conversation, though. We probably talked about all sorts of stuff. One thing I do remember, though, that I didn't remember earlier when I was talking to Mark. So this is, like, where I'm starting to remember, like, little bits and pieces. I don't remember. Yeah, I know. So the phone conversation, I don't remember what was in the phone conversation. Probably nothing of relevance, to be honest with you. But usually he talks to me when he's, like, down in the basement in his bed before he goes to bed and before I go to bed. And I could hear the TV on, which I thought was kind of weird. I didn't ask him. I just heard it in the background. And I remember thinking, and it was, like, right before we got off the phone, I was like, why the hell is he up? And there's, like, no TV downstairs. So I was like, well, maybe, I don't know.
So no TV in the basement where he usually calls you from?
Yeah, and I don't know how many TVs they have. Like, I've never been in their bedroom. Like, I went upstairs once, and it was, like, to their little playroom, and I just, like, looked at it, and I was like, that's super cute that your girls have books. And that was, like, it. And other than that, I have never been in any of those rooms in that upstairs. Like, to me, it was just like, you don't know. like ever. I had no, so I don't know if he has any other TVs. I'm assuming by like how much other nice stuff they have in their house, it wouldn't surprise me. So I'm not quite sure what room he was in at that point. But I just remember hearing the TV, and I was like, it was just weird to me, because I was like, why are you watching TV right now? It is like super late. And that was the only thing.
And he had phoned you? Or were you guys already talking when the TV was going? Or
I just remember like I picked up on it like later, but I don't think it was like throughout the whole conversation.
Okay.
Like I just remember it being towards the end, because I remember thinking like, wow, it's really late.
Something I didn't ask you about the house, because you'd been there twice, and it just made me remember. Do you remember how you guys accessed the house?
That's a good question. So once through the garage, and I think once through the front door. I think the first time was through the front door, I think. And I think the second time was through the garage.
Was there anything unique about either of the doors when you went into the house that might not be typical of another house?
Like a unique door?
Not
You know,
the
they
door
have a
itself.
camera on their door.
Okay,
I mean, I
there's
know
a
that.
camera on the which door?
It's on the front door, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking
I think
you.
so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did he use a key to access the house?
No. He did not. The first time I went over there, he just let me in. And then the second time, did we go through the garage? I don't remember. I've been through his garage before. I went through his front door once, though, because I remember he had just cleaned, it was the first time I went through his front door, because he had just cleaned his carpets, and he had moved all the furniture out of the way, and the furniture was kind of in the way of the door. And he's like, the door doesn't open all the way right now. I'll move all the furniture back when the carpet dries. So I do remember that, just kind of offhandedly. And the second time, I want to say we went through his garage, because I remember his garage. I remember, yeah.
So he was at the house when you went there. You were never there by yourself.
He
right?
was at, yeah,
or
no.
he took you there.
The first time he was already there,
Okay.
and I met up with him. And the second time we went there together.
So the front door, I asked if he had used a key.
He let me in.
Okay. So there's a, those keypads where you can enter an access code. Do you remember seeing that on his door?
Like, I want to say vaguely, but to be honest with you, I don't remember. Like, he let me in that day. That
So
was
he never
so
gave
long
you
ago.
he never gave you the code to access his home?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
You talked about a security system. There was a camera on the front door. Was that just like what a Ring doorbell is that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only
Okay.
know that it existed either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was over there, but B, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the only reason I know
Okay.
it's in
Did you remember
existence.
seeing any cameras anywhere in the house?
No.
Okay. Did he ever tell you about the alarm system or give you an access code to the alarm system?
No, I wouldn't have asked for that. I wouldn't have wanted that anyways.
Sorry to regress to that.
No, you're
Go back
okay.
to the phone call, or where you noticed the television in the background of the
Yeah.
phone call.
Yeah. So I didn't know what room he was in, but I was just like, I just thought it was weird. Because he's always like, before I go to bed and I lay down, he's always like kind of trying to do the same thing. We just talk. It's like a really chill thing till one of us is about to pass out, and then that's like the end of it. But it was strange because I was like, the TV's on. I remember I was thinking, I was like, maybe he's waiting up for her. And then I was like, maybe not. I didn't know. It wasn't something that like alerted me. It was just different from his
Out of character
standard
for him.
operating procedure. Because whether his wife is home or she's gone, he's always got kind of like the standard op when he calls me. So that's why it was kind of like unique.
Okay.
Because it doesn't really fluctuate when she's there and when she's not there. He's pretty like free reign with what he does.
So anything important that you recall during that conversation about the children, about his wife, about what he was doing the next day, what he had planned, anything like that? Did he
No.
tell you any of that information?
I remember he told me he had to go to the field and not to the office on Monday morning.
Okay. Did he specifically say where he needed to go on Monday morning?
No, I don't ask him for those sites. There's like Anadarko's got like thousands of sites. If he were to tell me, I wouldn't even
They're
know.
just like random numbers and stuff, right?
Well, he told me, he said, I got to go to a site. I got to go check out like a valve or something where they think that they had a release. Something like that.
Did he mention the town or anywhere?
No. He just told me that that's what he had to go do. He's
Okay.
like, he was like, I won't see you in the office in the morning. Because I see him, but I don't actually like talk to him. Like I will go in the cafeteria, I will put my lunch in the fridge, and him and his whole team are sitting in there, and I don't talk to any of them. I just walk out. But anyways, yeah, he's like, so I won't see you, I'm going to the field, which is not an uncommon thing for the ops guys to like just go straight to the field. Like it happens. Like typically they go to the office, I would say like 3 or 4 days a week, but there are days where him and his other team members are not there. Or like I'll get in there and some days the cafeteria is packed and they're all there.
Okay.
And other days I get in there and there's only like 3 or 4 of them.
So it didn't cause you any concern that he said,
No.
I'm going to the field on Monday, I won't see you. That wasn't,
No.
that's
it
happened
didn't-
before.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it wasn't something, and it's not just him, it's like that whole team. Like, you can just tell when they've got, like, a lot going on, because I'll walk in and there'll be, like, 2 of them, as opposed to, like, 6 or 7.
Do you know what he did Sunday during the day?
I don't even know what I did on Sunday during the day. I am so tired. Let me just think about this. Daniel came over Friday, I hung out with him Saturday, and then Sunday...
When did Jim come in?
Monday.
Huh.
Jim got here Monday. What did I do on Sunday? I am like drawing a blank. I'm really tired. I don't know. Can I get back to you on that?
Did you guys have any conversations on Saturday night during your meal, what he might be doing on Sunday?
I'm sure we did. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank because I haven't slept.
If I say that he may have done something with his children, would that refresh
Oh, yes.
your memory?
He went to a birthday party.
Okay. Did you know whose house he was going to?
Nope. But I know that they had a water balloon fight.
Okay. He had one, or his children?
His children did.
Okay.
He said he used to get really into it. He said he got like really interactive with his kids. He's like, some of the adults don't really spend a lot of time playing with the kids, but
We
I
went
always
to the
do.
museum on what day? Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay.
That's right. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, was I hanging out with you? God.
Very
So
memorable event, huh?
We,
Oh, it was,
me and him and my stepmother
wife
and my
and-
sister
yeah.
went to the museum, and
What
that's
museum?
right, the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And they went to brunch prior to that, and I skipped brunch, and I went to the gym.
You shouldn't have. It was good.
I had to do core day. That was the last time I worked out, actually.
That's
So
what we
did-
did Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, so core day, and then we went to the museum, and then
When did he tell you about the water balloon fight on Sunday evening during your conversation on the phone?
I think so.
Okay. So
think
you don't
so.
know whose house he went to on Sunday,
No.
but you knew it was for a child's birthday?
Yeah, and he had told me about that in advance, really. So I don't know if it was Saturday that he had told me that he was going to go that birthday, or like Friday. I just remember he was like, "I got to go to this birthday party
Okay.
with my kids."
Any other conversation that makes sense?
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm really tired. So I know there are certain things that I need to tell you guys that we'll get to as these days progress.
Yep.
But in all honesty, if it doesn't stand out to me now,
Today?
it probably
That's fine.
wasn't relevant.
What about that 9 o'clock thing you were telling me on Monday?
Oh, that he told me? Oh yeah, well we'll get there. We'll get there. We're still on Sunday.
So we're on
night.
Sunday.
We're
We're gonna get to-
literally-
we're gonna
I
get
know
to-
This is gonna be a long.
We're gonna
night.
get there to Monday. We're getting there. So Sunday night or Sunday during the day, you had your own personal stuff going on with your family. You never see him on Sunday. Is that accurate?
No, I didn't see him. What did I do the rest of the day? I came home. I think I might have just chilled at my house. I don't remember. I think I cleaned my house. I don't know. I didn't see him though.
Okay. And
Yeah, Saturday was the last time I saw him.
Okay. Sunday, you're at home. You talk to him. We know you have a conversation in the late evening hours, and then you go to sleep on Sunday night. When's the next time you talk with Chris?
Probably Monday morning.
Do you know What time?
No, I mean, so we used to like randomly text each other like throughout the day, but we both get really busy. So some days like I don't hear a lot from him, and some days I don't text him until like 2:00 in the afternoon because I'm just like busy. And I remember I didn't hear a lot from him that day, which was like, that's not out of the normal for either one of us during the day. But at one point I do remember he like texted me and he's like, oh, it's been a really busy day, and then like said some other stuff, which I'm sure you will find in my text. What he said, I don't know. It wasn't obviously anything that was like alerting to me. But that's what I'm saying. Like at this point, like I remember really key things, but if it's like a conversation that I'm like, I don't remember exactly what was discussed, it's because it was probably just bullshit, like just talking to each other. Yeah.
Small talk stuff.
Yeah. But I remember he was busy that day, and we didn't talk that much. And then I clocked out at 3 is what my time card says. That's what I was showing Mark the other day. And I got home to go meet my buddy. One of my good friends was coming over to my house, and he actually has a key to my house, so he was actually there when I got there. And
who's that?
My friend Jim. And so Jim came over, and I got home. He was there. He had like just walked in the door, and I remember like briefly after he got there, I checked my texts. I mean, briefly after I met up with Jim, I like glanced at my texts, and Chris said something about like my family's not home, or like my wife and kids aren't home, like something to that effect. And I told Mark, because he asked me for a time, and I don't have an exact time, but I remember it was like right after I walked.
That was a text message though.
Yeah, it's in a text, and it's like, it was like briefly after I walked in the door, so based off how long it takes me to get home from work and when I clocked out, it's probably about 3:45 p.m. Texts me and tells me that. And like, he knows when I get off of work too, so he doesn't always bug me if I'm busy, so I don't know what's up with that, but that's when he sends that to me. And
so you're saying that he would have known that you would have had your phone available to you and not been at work when he sent you that text message?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
So looking back at it, you think it was purposefully sent at that time?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm just asking your feeling on that.
Yes, and then he said, call me when you can. And I was
there was
like,
no other communication between you and him that morning, on Monday morning?
well, there was, but it was like random, like...
But nothing about this event?
No.
About, like, my wife's missing, or...
No.
Anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
And you knew he wasn't coming to the office because he had told you that Sunday night.
Yeah, and then he goes, and so, like, they're only in the office for the morning. Like,
right.
Some days it's longer than others, but I would say by a maximum of 7:30 every single morning, they're all gone, and they don't come back unless they have, like, a meeting or something that they have to attend. So, like, not seeing him for the rest of the day is not, like, an unnormal thing. Okay. Like, but like I'm saying, like, we don't really, the only reason we interact was kind of, like, by an off-chance thing. Like, I don't work with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he, we talked like randomly throughout the day, but it was really sporadic, and he seemed pretty busy, so we didn't talk too much. Like I said, didn't put too much thought into it. It happens all the time. Waited till about 3:45, then sent that text to me, and yes, he does know that I will be home at that point. Or getting home.
Did you give Mark Jim's information?
No, I would really not like to involve him in this.
Okay.
He does not know about this. He doesn't know any of this is occurring.
Okay.
Like, I was literally...
So he knows, certainly through the media, that something's occurred.
Yeah, he's
with
like
Chris.
out of town. He's probably has
Okay.
no idea. He doesn't know who Chris is. Like, he's not... I do not know.
So he's just a friend of yours.
Yes.
He does not was coming to your apartment and doesn't know anything about Chris. Does he know anything about Chris?
No, nothing. Absolutely not.